Meanwhile, Apple is up about 1.4%. It has been stabilizing as its competitor, Samsung, of course, the South Korean conglomerate, responsible for the Galaxy Note 7 phones that have been blowing up on some people. Now even Samsung is saying, bring them back to us. We're going to deactivate them. We don't think it's wise for you to charge them up. So obviously that's hurt Samsung, but it has actually helped Apple, regardless of what some people think of the new iPhone 7. That's already available for early ordering, and you can pick it up, I think, on Friday of this week. John Sculley, the former Apple CEO, tech giant in his own right. That's where Apple's benefiting, right, just by comparison.
Well, I think the news of this iPhone, it's got some improvements, but the more interesting thing is the introduction of some new pieces that may be very relevant a year from now when they introduce their 10th anniversary.
Would you buy the new phone now, hearing what you've heard about it, or wait till next year?
No, I wouldn't buy a new phone. Really? It's just me personally. And I love iPhone. I have an iPhone.
Yeah. Which version do you have?
I'm going to wait till next year on the 10th anniversary because I think they'll have a spectacular phones. And I think this new AirPod, as they call it, which is a little wireless earbud, will probably have more and more relevance as you get Siri, their personal digital assistant, better and better.
People are going to lose that thing constantly.
Yeah.
Maybe they make money because people have to keep buying it.
Well, I think we're just starting to see some of the building blocks to what's going to happen next year. But I don't think the announcement this year is going to be, a fundamental changer for Apple. Apple's a great company. It's going to do well. I think it'll be worth a lot more money a year from now, but I think it's going to largely be the iPhone on the 10th anniversary.
And maybe you dealt with this in your days there and elsewhere, that so much is out of your control. Everything can go fine. Look at Samsung, all the critical rave reviews on the Note 7, and then they had some battery issues that seemed localized, but now to the point where even the company is working with the U.S. government to say, all right, give them back. How do you guard for something like that?
You really can't. I mean, there are always things that you can't control, so you try to do as good a job of controlling what you can.
What fell through in the checking process that, hey, this is bigger than we thought?
There are some things that just catch you by surprise. I'm sure Samsung was caught by surprise of this battery problem. Whether they have a plan B for it, we'll just have to find out. But the reality is the tech world is full of uncertainties, and there are cycles. There are times when the whole industry is booming, and then there are other times when we're a tweener. We're between something big and something what will happen out in the future. So that's just the nature of high tech.
Could I ask you a question? You and I were briefly chatting on a break. It's not political left or right. Just now Hillary Clinton and her health come front and center. I'm sure you as the CEO, people would notice if you didn't make a shareholder meeting where they scrutinize your health, where they're watching every step you take. We've seen cases of this in the past. How big a deal is this when the leader is deemed compromised, physically compromised?
Well, the way I look at it is that I had pneumonia one time, and what I can tell you from the experience is it just takes all of your energy. It's not that she's critically sick. It's this that at a time when she feels that she's got to be everywhere, she really probably has to just lay low and have surrogates step in.
But now she's compounded it, right? She might be bedridden for a while. They're saying that she'll resume her schedule later this week, but you were telling me that might be doubtful.
I'd be surprised. But I think the key thing is she's got to be rested by the time she gets to that debate. And the key thing that I think she needs to focus on is Donald Trump is a negotiator. He's not a debater. What do negotiators do when they're really good? They know how to close. And Hillary has got to demonstrate that she knows how to close. And so I'd say that during this time that she's resting, she's smart. She knows all the details of policy. But she needs to do what I saw her do on CNN a couple of days ago, look relaxed. She's much better in person than she is when she's in front of a large audience.
But how important is that in a debate where you can have high IQ, but maybe be a little clueless when it comes to EQ? And Donald Trump is thought to have very high EQ. He has a good gut read of folks. Might not have the policy positions down like her.
It's incredibly important because most people don't make decisions on the logic of the answer. They make decisions on, do I like what that person's saying? Do I believe them? And so the hard thing for Hillary is that she's not a natural politician. She's pretty tone deaf when she gets in front of large audiences, but she's super smart.
Yeah.
And so she's got to learn how to relax, show that she's a little more, human in many respects. We know she's, intelligent.
So that would have to come through in a debate.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. I think absolutely. I mean, the success of her in the debate is not going to be, is she the smartest, kid on the stage? It's going to be, can she do what President Reagan did? Step back, smile, make a joke, have a little sense of humor. Well, that doesn't come naturally to her. And then she's got to learn how to close. Donald is a closer. He's a negotiator. And if he sees an opportunity to close, he'll go in there and it could be pretty rough on her. She's got to learn that skill and not fall back on the traditional debating skills, which are about the logic of the argument. This has nothing to do with the logic of the facts.
But her health, maybe Donald Trump's health, it's going to come front and center now, should it? In other words, even your days, in your capacity, if people had questions about your health, did you have an obligation to give them everything they wanted?
Absolutely. And you've got two older candidates. I think that Donald's got to give a lot more information than the one-pager that came out from a doctor, which didn't seem to tell very much. And Hillary, particularly since she has pneumonia, is it viral pneumonia? Is it bacterial pneumonia? It makes a difference. And how does it fit into the context of other things she has with allergies and so forth? So yes, I think they both have to be much more forthcoming.
Front and center now. John Sculley, thank you very much. Very good seeing you.
Nice to see you, Neil.
This guy is not aged. I don't know how that is possible.